Hello everyone and welcome back to Scholars. I am Gaurav Tiwari and I am here to take you through the ancient history for your civil services examination. So let's pick it up from where we left, that is the Indus Valley Civilization. In the last lecture, we learned when and where this Indus Valley Civilization arose, what were the striking features of its town planning and structures. We also saw how this community traded, its agricultural practices, its political organization. So let's continue from here and look at some of the other features of this civilization. So let's look at the religious aspect of Indus Valley Civilization. The Indus Valley people did not worship gods in temple. How do we come to know about this? Because during the excavation, we have not found any of the place dedicated specifically for worshipping. And that is how we say that Indus people did not worship their god in temple. Now, how do we get an idea about the religious life of Harappan people? We get this idea from the seals, terracotta figurines and copper tablets. The chief male deity was Pashupati Mahadev, also known as Proto Shiva. He is represented in a seal as sitting in yogic posture. As you can see in this seal, you can see Pashupati Mahadev sitting in yogic posture. He is surrounded by four animals, namely elephant, rhino, tiger and buffalo. Also there are two deers at his feet. You can also see he is wearing a crown which has horns. The chief female deity was Mother Goddess, represented in terracotta figurine. Apart from this, Harappans also used to worship trees. Peepal tree has been depicted on seals, shows that it was sacred. We have also found seal in which Pashupati Mahadev can be seen sitting amidst the branches of peepal tree, and that is how we have concluded that they used to worship trees. There are also traces of phallus worship. Both male and female sex organs were worshipped. We have found terracotta figures of both of the male and female sex organs, and then we can say that they were worshipped. So I hope everything is clear. Let's go through it once again. Indus Valley people did not worship their gods in temple because we have not found any of the place for dedicated worshipping. We get an idea about the religious life of Harappans via seal, terracotta figurines and copper tablets. Their chief male deity was Pashupati Mahadev, or also known as Proto Shiva. He is seen in a seal sitting in yogic posture surrounded by four animals, namely elephant, tiger, rhino and buffalo. Also two deers appear on his feet. Chief female deity was Mother Goddess, represented in a terracotta figurine. Apart from this, Harappans also worship tree. Peepal tree has been depicted on various seals, and that is how we know it was sacred. There are also traces of phallus worship. Both male and female sex organs were worshipped. So let's move on from here. Now the Harappan script has not been deciphered as we have discussed earlier, and this is why we did not have any idea about the political organization. But still, there are few things which we need to know about the Harappan script. They were certainly aware of the art of writing. Harappan's script is yet to be fully deciphered. So far, around 400 unique symbols have been identified. That is, we know that these symbols belong to the age of Harappans. The script was mostly written from right to left, unlike today in which we write from left to right. It was written from right to left in the first line and from left to right in the consecutive line. This is known as Bustofatron style. Script must have helped them to record their daily transaction, their day-to-day activities and their property details. As we certainly know that they were trading communities, so they must have used this script to note their transactions and day-to-day activities. You can also see these symbols in this image on the right side. There is one familiar symbol here, that is of swastik. So the origin of swastik is traced back to the Indus Valley Civilization. Weights and measures. Now, how can trade be conducted without weighing and measuring? So they use weights and measures for trade and other transactions. The articles used in weight shows that they were mostly 16 or its multiple. So we now know that they had a script which has 400 unique symbols, which we can now identify that they are related to Indus Valley people. Script was Boostophaedron, that is, it was written from right to left in the first line and from left to right in the subsequent line. The script must have helped them to record the transaction and day-to-day activities. They were also aware of weights and measures because the weights and measures were very important from trade and commerce point of view. This article used in weight shows that they were mostly 16 or its multiple. I hope everything is clear till now. Let's move on. Pottery. As we know that they were aware of the wheel, we have seen the terracotta figurines of bullock cart, of where we saw the wheel, which was wholesome wheel. Another most important aspect of wheel is it was used to make pottery. Numerous spots painted in various design has been discovered from this valley sites. These spots were decorated with the designs of trees and circles. You can see this spot over here. It has designs of trees and circles. So that's it for pottery part. Let's move on. Seals constituted a very important aspect of the Indus Valley civilization. It is through seals we get to know about the various aspects of Indus Valley people. Seals were used throughout the length and breadth of this civilization. And that is why we say that Indus Valley people used to conduct trade within the civilization as well. These seals were made up of steatite. Steatite is nothing but hard clay. Seals of various shapes have been discovered, that is round, square and cylindrical. Harappan script, gods and animals are also depicted on the seals. As we have seen, Pashupati Mahadev was depicted on one of the Harappan seals. You can see in this seal on the right side there is a depiction of animal and Harappan script. These seals give us the detailed information about their practices, that is trade, their beliefs, that is their religious and their life in general. As many as 2000 seals have been discovered, and that is why we say that the Harappans were primarily trading community rather than conquerors, because we have found this many number of seals which were more than the number of weapons discovered. So I hope everything up till here is very clear now. The seal aspect especially, it should be kept in mind that it was made up of steatite. It was in the shape of round, square and cylindrical, and as many as 2000 seals have been discovered. So let's move on from here. Attire. So let's just look at what they wore and how they used to carry it. They used sewn clothes, that is their clothes were sewed. A figure of bearded man has been found in Mohenjo-Daro. Cloth used to cover the torso, that is in the upper part of the body, in such a way that it kept the right arm free. Torso is anything from head below. You can see in this image that this cloth is free from the right hand. It is covering the whole of the left arm and is coming from underneath the right arm. You can also see this bearded man is wearing an amulet, as we discussed in the previous lecture. This amulet was used for warding off evils. Now we don't have any conclusive evidence of it, but still we consider it as being used to ward off evils. The men kept long hair and kept beard, also shaven beard. So the beard trend is not new, it is as old as the people of Indus Valley. There are evidences that people took interest in cosmetics. Now what are these evidences? These are bronze mirror, ivory comb and antimony rod, which have been discovered from the sites of Indus Valley civilization. So antimony is nothing but surma. So what were the important discoveries? It's discovery of a bearded man from Mohenjo-Daro. Its left arm is covered by a cloth and it is coming from underneath the right arm, and right arm was free. It was made up of steatite. Evidences are there that they took keen interest in cosmetics. Bronze mirror, ivory comb and antimony rods are testimony to it. So let's look at another aspect of the Indus Valley civilization, that is the sports and entertainment. The terracotta figurines, toys such as cart, bull, elephant and monkey indicates that children used to entertain themselves by playing with all these. We also found bronze figure of dancing girl, which gives us insight about the social entertainment. There is no evidence of music in the civilization. So no evidence of music, but still we have a bronze statue of a dancing girl. And we have various terracotta figurines with which children used to play and entertain themselves. So let's move on. We knew that the Indus Valley people started domesticating animals. Animals like buffalo, pig, elephant, donkey, sheep were domesticated. Now pay a very keen interest and very good attention on this, students. It is very important from your prelims point of view. Only Surkotada has given evidences of bones of horse. That is, from Surkotada only we have found the remains of horse bones. Generally, horse is absent in the civilization. That is, these were not the horse riding community. They were unaware of the strength of horse, and that is why. And how can we say this? Because it's only from Surkotada where we have found evidences of horse bones. Terracotta figures. Terracotta is fire-baked earthen clay. It was used for making objects of worship and toys. So this terracotta is nothing but baked earthen clay used for making toys and objects. As we have seen, we have come across various terracotta figurines and objects of worship. It was inferior in quality to that found in Mesopotamia. Also, terracotta workshop has been found in Mohenjo-Daro, which is another city of Indus Valley Civilization. Now, one of the most important things about Mohenjo-Daro is Mohenjo-Daro was the only city of Indus Valley that did not have citadel. City without the citadel is Mohenjo-Daro. They produced images of metal. So the Indus Valley Civilization people produced metal images. Testimony to this is that bronze image made of woman dancer that we have seen in last slide. This is the image. It was made up of bronze. Theatite image wearing an ornamental robe has also been found. This theatite statue was that of a bearded man. It was discovered from Mohenjo-Daro. So I hope everything is clear till now. Let's move on. Let's look at some of the miscellaneous random facts. Harappa was the first city to be discovered. It was discovered by Dayaram Sahani. It is located on the bank of river Ravi. Harappa was also a meeting point of trade routes coming from east. This is very important for your prelims. Harappa was a meeting point of trade routes coming from east. Let's just look at some of the important findings of Harappa. We have found 2 rows of granaries with a brick platform at Harappa. We have come across a citadel, that is a raised platform, a crucible of bronze smelting. And another thing which is very important is Harappa is the only site that has evidences of coffin burial. So what are these 2 things in Harappa that makes it apart from rest of the cities? It was the meeting point of trade routes coming from east, and it is the only site which has evidences of coffin burial. So let's move on to our next city, that is Mohenjo-Daro. Mohenjo-Daro means mound of dead. It was excavated by R.D. Banerjee. It is located on the bank of river Indus. So Harappa was located on the bank of river Ravi and Mohenjo-Daro is located on the bank of river Indus. So let's just go through the important findings of Mohenjo-Daro. Great structures like the Great Bath and Great Granary has been discovered from Mohenjo-Daro. Famous statue of this bronze dancing girl was discovered from Mohenjo-Daro. Seals of Pashupati Mahadev was also discovered from Mohenjo-Daro. That theatite statue of beard priest was also discovered from Mohenjo-Daro. Maximum number of seals have been discovered from Mohenjo-Daro, and we have also come across a cotton cloth that is discovered from Mohenjo-Daro. So I hope everything is very clear. Let's move on to the next city, that is the Kalibangan. The Kalibangan is located in Indian subcontinent in India, that is in Rajasthan. It means black bangles. It was located on the bank of now dried up river Sharavaswati. Okay, the important findings of Kalibangan are oldest plough field. We have found the remains of plough field from the Kalibangan, and we have also come across a wooden plowshare from Kalibangan, and that is how we know that they were aware of plowing field and agriculture. We have also come across the remains of camel bones in Kalibangan. The bricks in the Kalibangan, they were earthen ones. So there was also no drainage system in the Kalibangan, and that is why we say that Kalibanga was an unplanned city of Indus Valley Civilization. So what are the 2 features that makes it an unplanned city? The bricks were not baked one. They were earthen ones, and there was no drainage system in Kalibangan. So I hope everything is clear. Let's move on to the next city, that is Dholavira. Dholavira is located in Rann of Kutch of Gujarat. In Dholavira, 3 citadel or principal village division have been found. Similarly, the Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa has 2 citadels. This Dholavira has 3 citadels or 3 principal divisions. It was located on Tropic of Cancer, that is 23.5 degrees north of equator. Let's just go through the important findings of Dholavira. Signboard with Indus script has been found at Dholavira. We have also come across a structure similar to Great Bath that is found in Mohenjo-Daro, but it was smaller in size in Dholavira. So everything is clear up till now. Let's move on to the next city, that is Lothal. Lothal is located in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. It was a coastal town. Now, three important coastal towns of Indus Valley Civilization are Lothal, Sukta and Balakot. It is very important. Learn it by heart. Three important coastal cities are Lothal, Sukta and Balakot. Just skip this part where it is located on Tropic of Cancer. It was Dholavira that was located on Tropic of Cancer and not Lothal. Let's just go through the important findings of Lothal. As we have studied, they successfully constructed the first artificial dockyard, and this artificial dockyard was constructed at Lothal. We have also come across the remains of rice husks at Lothal. Apart from Lothal, these rice husks has also been discovered from Rangpur, which was another city of this Indus Valley civilization. We have also come across Persian seals from Indus Valley civilization, which are evident of the trade with the east. So let's just go through it one again. Three important cities are Lothal, Sukta and Balakot. Lothal has artificial dockyard. It has remains of rice husks, and along with it, Rangpur also has remains of rice husks. Persian seals have been discovered from Lothal. So let's just go through some random facts. Mohenjo-Daro was the only city without the citadel. We have also studied that Mohenjo-Daro was a city where the terracotta workshop was located. Sukta, which was one of the important coastal cities, is the easternmost town of Indus Valley civilization located on Markan coast. Alamgirpur in Meerut was the easternmost city. Manda in Jammu is the northernmost, and Daimabad is the southernmost town of Indus Valley civilization. Rakhigadi is the largest site of Indus Valley civilization in India. Though the largest was Mohenjo-Daro, but Rakhigadi is the largest IVC site in India. Fall of Indus Valley civilization. Though there are so many theories depicting the fall of Indus Valley civilization, let's go through them one by one. Amount of rainfall. The amount of rainfall in Indus region increased and then decreased, affecting the agriculture and stock breeding. Now, as the agriculture affected, they must have moved to some other place where they can again produce and harvest and cultivate crops. Since they mainly traded in agriculture produce, this was the mainstay of the society. So we can say any hindrance in agriculture would have caused them to shift. Decrease in fertility. Expansion of desert, increased salinity. Now, since the salinity increased, this decreased the fertility of soil, which again in turn affected the agriculture. Sudden subsidence and uplift of land, which must have caused floods. Earthquake caused changes in the course of Indus, causing inundation of Mohenjo-Daro and hinterland. So this also proclaimed by the scholars that there was an earthquake which caused a change in the course of Indus River, and now this Indus River inundated Mohenjo-Daro, which was located on its bank. Few scholars also called that Indus Valley civilization declined because of foreign invasion, but we do not have any conclusive evidence of it, so we cannot say that this must have happened. So whenever you face a question regarding the fall of Indus Valley civilization, mention all these points one by one, and if you mention this that it declined due to foreign invasion, it is necessary that you mention that there is no conclusive evidence of it. So let's just take up a few questions from Indus Valley civilization. With reference to Indus Valley civilization, consider the following statements. Sukta was the westernmost Harappan settlement. Lothal was a major center of trade and industry. Both Sukta and Lothal were coastal port towns. Which among the above statement is right? So you can take up a few seconds to answer this question. It's a very easy one. Let's go through it. Sukta was the westernmost city of Harappan settlement. That it's totally correct. Lothal was a major center of trade and industry. Yes, it is also correct. We have found Persian seals and a dockyard at Lothal, which are evident of trade in Lothal. Sukta and Lothal were important coastal towns. It is also true. Apart from Sukta and Lothal, the third city was Balakot. So all the three options are correct. So option D is the right answer. Let's go through another question. Which among the following features are generally present in Indus Valley civilization? Large scale state-owned facilities, military forces, palaces and special burial for rich, well attested overseas trade. Choose the correct option from the code given below. So it is a tricky one. Go through it once. Try to answer the question. So without wasting any time, let's just go through it. Large-scale state-owned storage facilities. There were large-scale storage facilities in the Indus Valley